I'm not privileged. I'm just better than you. Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and it's come to my attention that a lot of my subscribers listen to my videos audio only, often while getting ready for their day. Taking this information into account, I want you to think of this a bit like a motivational talk to get you pumped right before you embark on whatever it is, whatever work you're gonna do. Get pumped right now. You see, we're all fucking privileged, whatever that means. We're all lucky and we're all in a world of shit. Move the hell on. There's no point in worrying too much about that stuff for too long unless it motivates you tremendously to change your situation in life, which obviously a lot of people are not particularly interested in doing. They just want to complain. On Facebook today, as a result of the film Moonlight winning Best Picture, a friend of mine that is an intersectional feminist filmmaker posted about how she was overjoyed that such an indie film won Best Picture. She mainly praised the film for its artistry and low budget, which I completely agree with, as I quite liked it and encourage people to see it. She then had to add that she felt like it likely won due to the hashtag Oscar So White campaign from last year. And then in the comment thread, eventually she began talking with a feminist friend about starting some sort of hashtag Oscar So Male campaign for the future. As if Patricia Arquette didn't already miss that mark by about 23% for every dollar a man makes for every starring role. Now, I can't be super hard on this friend because I don't think she's a bad person overall, and I do believe she does work hard, but I was extremely tempted to comment something to the effect of, instead of sitting around wasting your time presumably forming political action campaigns to win an award from a ceremony that you'd probably normally scoff at, why don't you two just focus on making sure the movies you make are actually really good? Think of it this way. Out of the women who are privileged enough to make their full-time livings working in the film industry, presumably on projects that they feel passionate about if they are complaining about their representation at award shows, why are people so entitled that they feel that they need to take action to seemingly force people to enjoy their work more than they already do by virtue of the fact that they are women? Don't get me wrong. I would have loved it if Penny Marshall had won Best Director and Best Picture for A League of Their Own, if it weren't for the fact that The Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture that year, which was the most spectacularly awesome and surprising Best Picture Oscar win of my lifetime. But what are you gonna do? I am familiar with being somewhat excluded from certain artistic boys' clubs on account of being gay, and to be truthful, I am not entirely sure whether or not I might be more popular on YouTube if I didn't sound like some bitchy queen that would be one of the finalists on Project Runway or something. Like, I really don't know if having straight privilege would boost me here. However, into my mid 30s, I've learned a few things, and one of those is that it will never help you achieve your goals if you let others know that your disadvantages are getting you down, because almost nobody ever wants to hear about it, and certainly almost nobody besides your full-blown haters who will exploit your weakness and talk shit about you to undermine whatever legitimate skill you might have. Here's the thing. No matter how brilliant and talented you might be, until you work really fucking hard, you're always going to be yet another person who could have done something great. There's no such thing as all the stuff you could have done if you had the right teacher, equipment, or time on your hands, because that stuff you never did simply doesn't exist. During the most fun years of my life, when I was regularly making music and theater with countless people and performing sometimes multiple times a week with an endless string of after parties, I still had to wake up, pound an energy drink, and spend countless hours on my computer producing my music or writing my scripts. And not a single artist inventor, scientist, or entrepreneur that you might admire is any different. Millionaire playboys still only get to be millionaire playboys on their off time. The reason it's hard to get these people to show up to your party or live stream is not because they are completely disinterested in you. It's because they are busy. And you want them to be busy because it means they'll keep pumping out the work that you admire so much. People are more than welcome to criticize whomever they want, and if it is criticism that could help them be a better artist or whatever, then they should welcome the criticism and even discuss it at great length if the critic has the ability to engage in that kind of exchange with a passionate artist. But that's not what many critics want, and everybody's a critic. No, many people want to strike down artists like Cowards in the Night with a drive-by shooting, not only putting their foot on the gas the second the clips are all empty, but never stopping to consider what the inside of the house might be like, whether or not there is a husband or wife, pets, and children that they might not have considered when they attacked so callously. People can come up with whatever justification they want for engaging in these types of drive-by malicious criticisms, but ultimately it will always come down to the painfully trite word that every somewhat mature artist dreads ever allowing to leave their lips, which is jealousy. Even if these people legitimately dislike your work and don't want to be anything like you, they envy your glory, or the amount of exposure you get, or simply even the free time you have on your hands that allows you to create the work that you do. Even if you have sacrificed just about every hobby you once enjoyed to make space for that free time, they will purposefully not give a shit. In order to do something great in life, you absolutely must be privileged in numerous ways. You have to be gifted with an intellect, a drive, talent, time, the correct amount of misery that inspires you to change the world in some way, and a goddamn fuck ton of luck. I've had more luck in my life than I could ever truly make clear, but I also had more unfair bullshit happen to my artistic career than I could ever even pretend to understand myself. But that's just part of the business of creating things that others enjoy. If you want to avoid having all the jealous haters that the rappers talk about, the only things that you can really do are jobs that are either completely boring and relatively low in pay, or things that nobody particularly wants to do based on their sheer difficulty, like running orphanages or taking care of the mentally handicapped. However, I have news for you. Even if you are a black lesbian in a wheelchair, the second you start doing something that makes people pay attention to you as an individual, the second you get a book published, some other lesbian in a wheelchair is going to come out of the woodwork and tell you to check your privilege. And then, please, if you have time, read the essay she just published on her WordPress blog. So here's the message. I'm Prince of Queens, and if you admire me in some way, I really appreciate that. But none of this was an accident. This all ended up the way it was supposed to end up. I'm not necessarily any better than you. I probably don't even know you, and the title was ultimately just clickbait. Still, if you want to be better than I am, I welcome the competition. And a part of me wants you to be even better at absolutely everything I do. I want you to start making videos speaking your mind that put mine to shame. And I say this not because I don't want to be on top, because that does sound kind of appealing from down here. More so, I want you to beat me at my own game because I want you to make sure that things stay interesting, so that I stay honest. And I'll do my best to keep you honest. Drop me a comment and stay tuned.